I know.
Oh, let me see you there, sorry.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that at all? Okay, so those are approved. We will move right into the next one, which is appointments, recognitions, and presentations. And that would be Ms. Elisa to give us presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Commissioners. A revised agenda memo for the board appointments. We do have 2 additional applicants that have come in since the publication of the original agenda. With the Historic Preservation Commission vacancy that occurred, it resulted in a need to appoint someone from the Historic Board to the Planning Board. With the Historic Board to take that seat, Christina Ramsey chose to remove herself from her regular seat and take the historic seat, resulting in a regular seat vacancy on the Planning Board. She'll still serve on the Historic Board and the Planning Board in this capacity, and we have continued to have an ETJ seat. Right now, we have 11 applicants in total for the in-town seat and 1 applicant for the ETJ seat. And we are looking to see if the board has any recommendations or any appointments.
Yep. Are you doing the little pink houses thing?
I'm sorry, we do need to also do the ETJ seat. I'm sorry.
The what?
The ETJ seat. So Doug will be the in-town seat. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so do we want to discuss the ETJ? We have 1 application, that's Jamie Patani. She was unable to be here tonight, so I don't know.
Oh, that's for, sorry.
Okay, any discussion on that? Any recommendation, any nomination?
I've had several conversations with her. She's energetic, that's for sure. She wants to do the job. That's the biggest part. Seems that we have just the ETJ is just hard to get folks to come in and do this. She's willing to do it. I would be willing to nominate for that position.
Okay, so that's a nomination for Jamie?
I second that.
Okay, second, any discussion about that? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? So everybody's unanimous in favor. So she would be,
Making some needed changes to our IT, and if there are any changes we need to make, this would, to us, it's free of charge. There's a resolution in your agenda agreeing to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the league for them to come in and perform their services. There's a number of services that they do provide, and it's in Exhibit A towards the end of that agenda item. Basically, number 1 is going to be primarily what we're looking to them to assist us with our security assessment, IT.
so it looks like you guys have done a great job managing the funds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Future agenda, be Miss Elisa.
Good evening again. With the fire department report being removed from this meeting, it'll be presented to you in one of your August meetings. So that will be an agenda item added for August, which will go with our visitor center future plans, continued discussion, and a presentation by Ms. Cynthia LaCourte on beautification efforts, as well as our financial report. Those are the items we know are scheduled for August at this time. Does the board desire to see any other items added for August consideration?
Well, I don't know if we want to put it on the agenda, but I was talking to the mayor earlier, and we need to think about possibly, we need to change the advisory board notification. Whenever somebody puts in last minute, 48, 24 hours before a meeting, need to be realistic. I know for me personally, usually I have my mind made up by then who I'm going to select. Now I got to go back, relook at everything, and everybody else here's got to do the same thing. So, I would like to make a suggestion that we either, if more than one person puts in within 48 hours, we table it to the following meeting. That way that gives us time to look at the other ones, like we had, 2 or 3, within 48 hours that applied. So either we table it if more than, one person puts in within 48 hours, or that person just is not going to be looked at, but they'll remain on there for the next time. So I don't know what y'all think about that. That'd be my suggestion for.
Any input on that from the board? I understand what you're saying, because it does throw your thought process off, because you got somebody at the last second that you haven't considered, and you don't feel like they're getting the full benefit of.
And to me, this way, that gives everybody that has applied, even the people who applied late, a fair chance of being considered.
Yeah.
So would you like me to not accept them 48 hours before the meeting and put them on for future consideration at that point?
As long as it's one or
I
less.
think that's pretty much what you're.
More than one person, puts in.
Okay. And that's just a decision that you can make without that.
Yeah.
We can enforce it accordingly.
We can just. Pat, did you have anything? Future? Doug?
Yeah, this is really for the town manager and Tank on this one. I don't know if I'm going to put you in a bind, but the visitor center stuff, we have 2 courses of action at least that you're ready to bring to us next meeting, to present, hey, this is course of action 1 for this thing, and this is course of action 2. And if not, how much would it impinge your schedule and stuff to have that prepared for us? To include like a layout, almost like a sketch blueprint. Hey, here's what the interior of this thing should look like. Here's how many toilets we plan to add. And here's the basically time frame that we expect this to get started and done, because we've already allocated the money. So I'm just wondering when it's going to come before us and we're going to make a decision on design build. You're free to answer, but the agenda item is, can we put it on the next agenda for us to sit here and hash this out and come to a decision and make progress on this one?
Yeah, in order for me to, I want to give you some couple of options, but some of those options are dependent on a interpretation from a funding agency, a federal grant we got 2013, that in order to be compliant with, I need to get interpretation from the funding agency. We've been exchanging emails, and it's moving up the chain to get to the right person to tell me, yes, you can do that, no, you can't. So depending on what they say is really going to affect what options I give to you. The domino it starts to fall into place, so I can give you a lot better information so you can make decisions.
Well, what we're going to do with the visitor center, my understanding for the majority of it, is going to be
The 324 2- and 3-bedroom apartment building, introduce the neighbors to the project and to share their vision for this development. a letter was sent out of the land that they wish to have rezoned because that's the only area that there would be affected by these 324 apartments, right? 1 mile out. Well, I understand the 1 mile limit must be the minimum required by law, but this is certainly not the only ones affected by this huge proposal. I was disappointed that there's nothing on the town website that I could find, on the Recreation Department's website, or on Swansboro's Facebook page about this very important meeting, as I feel it is so important for those, all of us, to be informed of our voice for opposition or approval. But we're all affected by this proposal. Hubert, Bear Creek, ETJ, commuters, visiting tourists, Swansboro Township, and voters. Our roads, our traffic, our public services, our schools, and our town. Our town is fast disappearing before our eyes. We've allowed Swansboro and our future to be hijacked by those who want to have economic growth. And the cost of economic growth seems to be Swansboro. As much as I dislike making public speeches, we must make a stand and let our voices be heard. Please join me in coming to the meetings at the Rec Center on Monday, the 28th. There's 2 meetings, one at 6 and then following at 7 o'clock. And then you can voice your opposition to this rezoning for the apartment. Thank you.
Thank you. No, please hold your applause. Thank you, Vicki. I appreciate it. Next, we have Lisa Prakash. If you just state your name and address at whichever one you feel most comfortable with.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Manus Prakash, and I live on Savaston at 532. Just a couple of quick comments. Again, just to reiterate that I do not support the rezoning and the apartments that Flybridge would like to build. The second thing I wanted to address is the visitor center. And I'm curious to know, because I think the original intent of the changes made at the visitor center was to accommodate boaters. And I'm just wondering, because we would be giving up some space for laundry facilities and a shower, do we really know in terms of numbers, is that useful? Is it relevant? I don't know that. Just something to consider. And thirdly, about the Heritage Center, I am a member of the Swansboro Historical Association. I'm also a board member, and we really want to work closely with the town in terms of, I don't know, I think Joe mentioned something about maybe combining the two. I'm the one that gets the volunteers into work at the Heritage Center. We're open typically only on Saturday and Sundays, so I don't know how that would work if the town would consider consolidating the Heritage Center and the Visitor Center for brochures and information, and if so, what would that look like in terms of hiring staff members to work Monday through Friday, maybe continue our volunteers on Saturday and Sunday, just something to consider. And that's it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Name and name and address, please.
Sure. 309 Baffle Court here in Swansboro. So I wanted to share some perspective I have after reviewing the Swansboro Police Department quarterly highlights off of their Facebook page and reflecting on a couple of encounters I have had with community members that shared they were on the planning board of the town of Swansboro, one of which just publicly announced he'll be running for commissioner in this upcoming election. So keep in mind, based on the police report, so both the quarterly ones that are on the Facebook page, right? 138 arrests, 379 citations, 530 warnings were given out by our police department in the past 180 days. There's approximately 142 patrols per day, 7 days a week in our small town. So a question to ponder while I share the rest of my comments is, what are the alternatives this town will offer in the future to prevent these statistics from going up? All right, so to the commissioners, to start, as you all know, Swansboro is at a pivotal moment in its development, as you've just recently heard. As our community continues to grow, we must act deliberately to shape its future in a way that prioritizes the health, wellness, and overall quality of life for our residents. If we do not lead with vision and intention, external forces, whether developers such as Flybridge, policymakers, or broader economic pressures, will define our town for us, often without regard for the unique values and needs of our community. A sustainable and thriving Swansboro demands a comprehensive approach to development, one that balances infrastructure expansion with public health and wellness initiatives, very much of what we talked about tonight. Strategic planning should focus on key priorities, including infrastructure development, water treatment and management, public safety and support services, and last but not least, the health and wellness initiatives like we have documented within the town of Swansboro's Parks and Recreation Comprehensive Master Plan. The Planning Board plays a critical role in this effort. As outlined on the town website, the Planning Board is an advisory body to the Board of Commissioners, charged with studying the area and its surroundings, setting development objectives, preparing by the people for the people. It is not about your personal goals or those of your constituents. We may not all agree on what is most important, but as we continue to leverage each other's strengths, we can ensure the needs of everyone are considered and planned for the steady improvement and quality of life for all of us. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Matt. Okay. So Richard Galati is going to be our next, and thank you for coming out.
Sure. My name is Richard Galati. I'm from 535 South Saviston, right around the corner here. First of all, I want to take the bullet for this vendor. I was probably the one that submitted, you got it right there, at the last minute, wanting to serve. Also, I'm going to ask if you can just hold my name and my information. Anytime there's an opportunity for service, I'm all about it. I was raised here as a little boy, came back. I had to leave for a little while with family for work. And now I'm back again, planning to stay for as long as I can, and I'm retired and want to offer my services to the commission, to all of you, to all people of Swansboro. I love this town. It's my favorite place to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Terry Herbert, name and address, please, and either one you'd like to go to.
Good evening. I'm Terry Herbert, and I live at 102 Oyster Bay Road. Tonight, I'd like to address comments made by two commissioners at the last meeting. The first comment was made by Commissioner Eckendorf. He was responding to a letter from Meredith Malure that the sentiment of the town is that we're growing uncontrollably. He stated, quote, "We're only playing with the rule book you gave us, the land use plan updated in 2019. In that, if you all take some time to read it, there's some math in there that doesn't make sense to me, in a way. Something about sea rise growing at 3 millimeters per year, and that in the next 60 years, we're going to have 9 feet of water. That math doesn't work out, okay? It's in writing in the report. It's not my math. It's whoever did this report." Those words caught my attention. The town spent a lot of money on that report. Surely it doesn't contain such a significant math error only now noticed. As suggested by the commissioner, I read the land use plan again. To quote from the passage to which he refers, quote, "During the creation of this plan, the town weathered a significant hurricane, Florence, that caused tremendous amounts of damage across southeastern NC. During the course of the land use plan, projections for sea level rise were released that affirm that future flooding events will likely be more extensive and more damaging than in the past. In the Swansboro area, sea level has generally risen about 3 millimeters per year for decades, according to NOAA tide gauge data. NOAA estimates that the global sea level will rise 9 more inches by the end of the century if countries immediately begin reducing the amount of pollutants in the atmosphere. If little or nothing is done, NOAA scientists estimate that the sea could rise almost 9 feet by 2100, close quote. Commissioner Eckendorf was right. The math doesn't work out because his math was wrong. From 2019 to 2100 is 81 years, not 60. At 3 millimeters per year, in 81 years, we will see a rise of 243 millimeters, or about, 9.5 inches. If nothing is done, rise is projected to be 9 feet. That works out to be about 1 1/3 inches per year. I asked 3 engineers to double check, not one refuted my numbers. Whether intentional or careless, his comments appear to undermine the conclusions of a professionally developed plan that he doesn't like. Maybe we should all read the land use plan again. PhD not required. The second comment I'd like to address was made by Commissioner Brown. He stated that, quote, "We have to grow before we can manage," close quote. As a business major, I learned that we must plan before we do anything else. We plan what we eat, we plan what we wear, we plan where we go on vacation. If we don't plan first, we will end up being reactive and not proactive. In other words, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. And my last comment, no fly bridge. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your comments. And thank y'all. I know y'all want to clap, but thank you for not doing just trying to follow the rules. I can feel it out there. I can feel it. Not yet. Ralph, you knew better. One more person signed up. Wilmuth, if you'd like to come up, name and address, please.
Good evening. I'm Andrea Wilmuth, and I live at 409 South Chest. Public speaker, but I just feel like my voice needs to be heard with no fly bridge. Also, something came up tonight as far as like with you all talking about getting your applications in a timely manner. I wish that I inquired with Chief Taylor about could we do a peaceful demonstration against Flybridge at their presentation. And I was told, and I figured it would take a permit or something. Well, he informed me that you have to apply for that 15 days in advance. We don't have 15 days. So if things like this could be put out in timely manners, just like with you all, so that we have notice and can prepare, that would be something that would be appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And I just want to respond to that real quick because we didn't really know that it was happening until like a couple of days ago too. But that's a point well taken. The manager's comment.
Mayor, I do have a couple things just to follow up on. Earlier, you made some comments about porta potties at the visitor center. The TDA took this week, and it was their decision to appropriate $2,000 of TDA funds for the rental of those 2 porta potties and washing stations that's down there now. I think according to Sonia, the monthly cost, that'll take it out about 4 months at that $2,000. I think they're going to service it twice a week. So hopefully in that time, Mr. Eckendorf, we can get the information you need to you to make decisions on the long-term, the control modules. It was in service now, and it hasn't been any problem. So I'm glad just to report, as hot as it's been very well used at the rec center. And last, you may have noticed some of the surplus vehicles have been sitting out in the parking lot for quite some time. Some of them are leaving now. Assistant Chief Stanley has done a great job of getting those posted on GovDeals. I think he's got the first 5 or have been posted about 2 weeks ago. I think 3 of them have already been purchased and removed by the buyer. If you're interested, just go to govdeals.com. It's a very common counties and get rid of their equipment. It's actually nationwide. It works very well. Sometimes you do really depend on what the vehicle is. On auctions, sometimes they start bidding on stuff that, hey, we're just getting rid of it, but you'd be surprised of what kind of revenue that can bring in. So we've done real well on the first 5. I think 2 more are still online right now. And as soon as those are gone, he'll parking lot cleared out here pretty soon. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, so that being said, we'll move on to board comments. And I guess, Pat, do you want to start out, or you rather somebody else?
Nope, that's fine. Steph, thank you so much for what you do every single day. Sonia, thanks for keeping us with the money the way it's supposed to be. Citizens, thank you so much for coming out here and speaking. And I have to say that it is really exciting to have so many participate with town information and be on board. I've served the town for 27 years, and half of that was with the planning board. We never had people apply for it, ever, ever, ever. So I thank all of you that put your name in that want to help. Thank you so much.
Okay, Jeff?
First of all, thanks, John, Alyssa, for the Wawa cleanup area. The junk is gone. It looks, at least looks presentable now. And also for the work on getting those old vehicles out of here that need to go away, that are eyesore beside the road. And for ensuring that we have the information that we request, that we need for meetings. We get questions on a lot of things. We don't have that information. We kind of look like we don't know what we're talking about, so thank you for that. Thanks for all the citizens coming out, voicing your concerns. As we know, that's how things change. For years, I can tell you, I'm sure Bill and Doug have all heard that I'm here, even before I was on the board, I was on advisory board. There might be 2 or 3 people on it. One of them right there, she's been coming, our loyal fan over there, through all that, so she can tell you the same thing. There was many times she was the only one sitting here. And people were complaining about stuff, whether it be through the paper or at each other, but nobody would come here and say anything. So thank you for coming. We know where you're, we hear what you're saying, and we'll do what we can do to try to correct it. Thanks.
Hey, I'd personally like to thank the services of our fire chief and public works this weekend. Sunday, we had a sinkhole show up in the middle of a Cormorant Drive out there on a Sunday. No one else, just the neighbors. They called 911, police chief shows up on a Sunday in a Sunday attire. Thank you, chief, appreciate that very much. Marked off, I say within probably an hour and a half, we had a backhoe out there, and it was being filled in. Now it no longer represents a life hazard and stuff. The list just got longer. The way we take care of them is we show them a fiscal policy that affords them to continue the first-class service you come accustomed. Maybe it's worth that investment of $50,000 to get it right. And take time to draw the data over 6 months, a year's time, rather than 20 days. Okay? I think you guys deserve to see the real data out there. A consulting team that's hired to do this kind of thing. And it will serve you, the citizens, well. In order for us, and that growth provides a spreading out of the tax base, which means less of a burden for each individual and property owner and business owner in this town.
That means that,
Agree doesn't mean we have to be enemies. Doesn't mean we have to be angry with one another. And that's just my 2 cents on it. You may feel differently, and that's your right to feel that way, but I'm not going to approach it that way. I'd like to work together. I'm here to help do whatever we can to move forward with that. So thank you so much for coming out. With that being said, we're going to need to get a motion to enter a closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11. You can be retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged, and to establish or to instruct the public body's staff or negotiating agents concerning the position to be taken by or on behalf of the public body in negotiating the price and other material terms of a contract or proposed contract for the acquisition of real property by purchase, option, exchange, or lease. I think everybody is aware at this time we do have an offer in for a piece of property that Joe alluded to earlier. We moved away from eminent domain, so we'll be discussing that in closed session tonight. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, so we'll now move to closed session. I don't think we'll have anything to report of significance tonight. And so that's going into closed session. Yeah. I don't know, Roger. Hey, and look, I'm not very territorial, and I feel bad saying that, but I just want to keep, don't be hating. Thank you. Okay, so we're back from closed session, and there's nothing to report, so could I get a motion to, okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Closed. Thank you, guys. Yeah, not too bad. Looked like it was gonna be real short for a while.
That hour and 40